Hello. I wanted to come on live and chat to. I'm going to be chatting to some of the goddesses this week because last night, the doors officially opened for the next cohort of the Goddess Awakening, which starts in 2 weeks on Monday. Feels like a long time away, but it's not that long away. And uh, and so I'm going to be talking to a few of the beautiful goddesses that have journeyed in the Goddess Awakening before. And so, Vicky.
Hello.
I really wanted to bring you on to talk about, well, quite a few bits actually, but the main thing that I know that will help other people is talk a little bit about how you felt before you said yes.
uh, I honestly felt I was terrified of what I knew that I needed to deal with, and I knew that you were going to be the person that was going to pull that out of me, and I didn't want to go there. I was properly scared, and I found every reason under the sun, as you remember, I found every reason under the sun to not actually do it. From needing, couldn't afford it at the time, to didn't have the actual time in my life to do it. I mean, everything. Can't do it because I have to share custody with my son. Oh my God, it was everything. Everything I found,
How long was you in my world before you said yes, do you
a
think?
good 18 months, I think.
I knew there was someone who was in it for 18 months, and I think it was you, yeah, because I was thinking it was Lindsay, but I think you were the one that was in it for 18 months. But you were kind
Yeah,
of watching, wanting,
I did. I kept
like
dipping my toe in.
you're like, oh, Kerry, but I think I want to, and then you're
Yeah,
like, oh no, but I can't because of this, and
yeah.
but you kind of did you always have that feeling though that you knew, but you just
I
do
think the
you
first time,
remember?
yeah, because the first time I came across you was on an EAM, uh,
Yeah.
the
Oh,
Theatre Love, I think it was. It was a
yeah.
weekend thing, and you did a half-hour bit in the morning. And I remember at the end of that knowing, and I thought, because just simply the stuff that you'd done that morning, and I think, in conjunction with the stuff that we'd been doing that weekend anyway, I knew, I felt it,
Hmm.
and I knew that I knew that you were the person that was going to break it down for me to the point that I could actually deal with those issues myself. And I also knew, and I remember at the end of that session, I remember you had, like, there was like a free 15-minute, like, let's have a chat. And I remember having that chat with you and going, oh gosh, she's amazing, and she's already, like, it's like you could see into my soul. I remember that. And then I was like, oh right, okay, I'm up for this, I'm up for it. And then it was the doubt and the fear, and it was the fear more than anything else. It was the fear of having to confront those demons that I knew that they were there, and I
Hmm.
knew that I've done a lot of work. I say, for people who don't know my journey, um, I'm a survivor of childhood abuse, and that was the thing that was really stopping me. I'd done a lot of work, I've had a lot of counselling, I've done a lot of EAM, but I knew
Hmm.
that I had to actually embrace that properly and embody it. And it was the embodying bit that was scary for me, weirdly. Like,
And
actually
feeling
having
the
to
pain, isn't
feel
it?
it.
It's quite easy to say I have this, but
Yeah,
actually, this is what changed my life was the actual feeling of letting yourself feel the pain and actually realizing that it wasn't going to consume you as much
yeah,
as you thought it was going to.
yeah,
It doesn't mean your whole life's going to be a big snot and tear fest. It's like it moves quickly, doesn't it, when you
it
say yes
does.
to
It
it?
does. Absolutely. And the minute I said yes, so many things changed. I mean, it was like I had to, you know, I remember, kind of saying yes and having those butterflies of, oh God, right, I've
Yeah.
done it now. And then it's, and a kind of a sense of calm as well, that I knew I was going to be, I knew I was in the right place to do it. And I knew, because I was, it's like I was worried I have, or used to, still a little bit, I'm still working, it's still something I'm working on, but about
Yeah.
being seen, about
Yeah.
people.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I was sort of like, oh God, all these people are going to be looking at me and I'm going to have to say stuff. But it's like I felt there was a calmness that I felt about, actually, once I'd made that decision, that, there was that kind of, that those butterflies where I remember pressing the button, going, yeah, okay, yeah. And then I was like, oh, Done it now. Done it
And
now.
you did have panic even after you said yes, didn't you?
Oh
You
yeah,
felt
totally.
sick. You felt
I think,
sick, and it was like, because again, it was that the body was going, oh my God,
yeah.
you're
What?
actually going to deal with this stuff
Yeah.
that I've been helped. So just tell me a little bit about some of the things you let go of and some of the things that changed when you're like in your experience in the Goddess Awakening, just some of the key points and the
Where to
things that.
start? What did I let go of? Everything. I mean, I think. I think the biggest transformation for me was in my journey towards learning to love myself and accept myself and allow myself to be me, but allow myself to feel those things and actually feel them. So I remember the first session we did was, kind of that very first embodiment session. And I really struggled. For me, I really struggled with the silent scream with the hand over your mouth. And
Mm,
it's one of the things I use it all the time now.
yeah.
And I remember that being such a massive thing for me because it did trigger me. It brought up an awful lot of stuff. But just allowing myself to be angry and that it's okay and that I
Mm,
can be angry and I can sit in that I can sit in it and I can have a tantrum and then I let it go and that for me has been life changing because I never felt angry, never really ever let myself be angry about things. It's like I always just was just like, oh yeah, I'm a bit pissed off about that, and then
yeah.
and then it just sits there, and then but and
And
then
I mean, sorry, go
I
on.
know I was going to say, and then the other big thing for me was about kind of body image, and I
Mm,
consistently hated my body and hated it properly, hated it, and again I'm still there's still work, there's always work to do, isn't there? But there's
yeah.
still work to do about actually kind of loving me and owning my own sexuality, but
Mm,
actually being present and being intimate. I've got a new level of intimacy with myself that I never had before, and
yeah.
then a new level of intimacy within my relationship that I've never
Mm.
had before.
Oh, and I'm feeling all the goosey bumps
I
because
know, I was going to be,
I remember that stage where you shared about I've actually let myself receive that love
yeah.
from Andy. It was like it was huge, wasn't it? And
Honestly,
it was like and I kind of spoke. I've been going through this all myself with Mark recently about how vulnerable can I be with my partner? How much can I let him look after me? And then I think there was a point where you weren't very well, you were tired, and you just let him.
that's well recently as well. I mean, I just
Yeah.
it's like actually he what at that particular time I was really unwell, and I was working a Christmas show, so I couldn't stop. There
Mm,
was no kind of, you can't go to work, you can have to have a day off, and he
yeah.
just, well, because the other thing I was going to say that for me during my journey is actually acknowledging and allowing my inner child to come out and be looked after. And I've got
Yeah.
several different ages that she comes out, but my kind of 11-12 year old is the one that I struggle with the most. And he embraces her and he takes her and he put her in the bath and he washed my hair and he washed my
Oh.
back, and there was nothing sexual about it. It was pure love. Oh God, it's making me go all right.
Oh, I know.
It was
It's making
pure
me
love.
feel like I
And then
want
he
to
took me
cry.
out
It
and he
was just.
dried me and he put me in bed and he just sat there and he held me. And I've never allowed myself to be that vulnerable with another person. Never. And it was so huge, which is why I had to come on, because I was like, I've got to share
I
this.
know, and I think it started with you being vulnerable with us, didn't
Yeah,
it? Like because
absolutely.
at first, like you know what it's like when everyone joins at the beginning, everyone's a bit like they don't really know
Oh, absolutely.
they
It's
want to
lots of
break down,
bravado.
but they're scared of breaking down. And then once you do it, once you
Yeah.
actually be honest with what's going on, it's like a whole weight falls off the shoulders because you're like, I can actually say this stuff out loud, and I
No.
can
How
be seen
powerful
and
is
be
that?
heard, and
And
so when you
safe. I felt so
yeah.
safe. I mean, if anybody that's watching just is worried about that, you know, the 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 way that you hold the space for us is just amazing. It's like I felt safe. I
Mm,
knew that there was nothing I was going to say that was going to be shocking, or or was going to be judged for, or
no.
right down to I tried to run away at least once, I think.
Everyone does. I was talking about this last night. Like you get to the point, like a crux of like, oh my god, I'm hitting this point now.
Yeah,
And I think it was some trauma had come up from when you were younger, and it
yeah,
was like, I can't go there. And it was
yeah,
like, yes, you can. Let's go there. Let's do this. And we're doing this in group sessions most of the time, aren't we? And you're doing it in the
absolutely.
exercises. It's like, and that's why I said I love having it so intimate, because
It
you
is.
get to know everybody and you get to feel safe that you can
Absolutely.
go there. You know.
And and it is, I mean, and even on the sessions where I didn't really say very much because I didn't feel ready to share or I didn't want to share, other,
Mm,
it is that thing where everybody that was sharing, there was something in there that was pertinent to what I was going through, or so, similar to what I was feeling. and
yeah.
and I mean, and you are so good, you are just amazing, you are just like goddess. um I know
I
you.
just see you, don't I? Like
Yes,
I was trying to
you
say last
do,
night. Like
you do.
I just don't. I see through the bullshit
Yeah,
basically. So when you
exactly.
come on and you're just like, yeah, rah, 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 I'm fine. I'm just
No, hello,
like what
that's
else?
just,
What's really going on? You know, like I can just see it and I feel it, and that's something that I can't put into words. And I'm trying to describe what it's like to be in a container with
yeah,
me holding you for 3 months is like a lot of the people that
amazing.
I've been speaking to, they've been in the journey with for me for a week, and they felt the transformation, and they're feeling like I'm here, I've got it, I'm kind of not, I've got this down, I know what I need to do. But and I know that you can quickly easily forget that,
Oh,
and then
really, really
just don't
quickly.
do the stuff that you don't want to do. You
Yeah,
just leave
that's
the
it,
stuff.
exactly. It is. It's like, and that, and because that is, I mean, that is what I did. I did several of your little free weeks, and it was like, oh wow, I feel, yeah, this is
Yeah.
brilliant, this is great. And then off I trot and go, oh no, well, it's fine, I'm fine now, but I'm
Yeah.
not. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. And then it just comes up to bite you on the bum
it
again. And it's
does,
like
exactly.
at some point you are ready. And I know that like it's kind of what I feel when I know this is that you have to be ready to say yes. You have to
Yeah,
be ready to do the work,
you
but
do.
also know that it isn't necessarily going to feel like you're going to do jumping for joy. It's not that sort of course where you're
Yeah.
going to feel like it's not like something that's just all delicious. You're just going to get gifts every month in the post. It's not. It's actually you have got to do some work
You have got to do the work,
and
but
make the
you know,
time for it.
and
Yeah.
and I think it's like I've got a little whiteboard that I write inspirational quotes and things. And mostly like for me, but also for Ben and my son. It's like it's
Yeah.
that. But on there in the middle of that, it says I am doing the work, because
Yeah.
he used to say that to me. I think every week he'd be like,
All the
"You are
time.
doing the work," and I'd be like, "Oh my god, but I haven't done this and I haven't done that, and I still feel this," and he'd be like, "But you're doing."
Yeah.
And I think
Yeah.
that's it. I think the minute that I said yes and I started the process, I I don't think I was aware until now. It's like with hindsight, it's a wonderful thing, isn't it? But I don't think I was aware how much work I was doing just by turning up every week. It was like I'm turning up every
Mm,
week, even when I didn't want to be
yeah.
here, didn't want to, and I really definitely had moments like that where I was just like, I don't want to. And those are exactly the days that were the
You need to
right days
come.
for me to be there, because it was,
Yeah.
there was always something
And
something that
that's
I
why we
really
have the
wanted to do.
commitments, yeah.
Yeah,
Like so, it's like you're not just showing up for yourself, and it's what helps everybody, especially those like yourself that are used to doing so much for everybody else. And when you know that you're not just showing up for yourself, you're showing up for everybody else, all the other sisters on the
yeah,
call.
I,
It makes you show up,
it
and
does.
that's where the magic happens. Because even when you're like, I can't come today because I'm not fit, and I'm like, come to the call.
Yeah,
Just come to the call, and you always feel better afterwards. And so, I'm meeting, there's 2 calls a week. Like it's almost so intensive, but also in a good way, because there's nowhere to hide. And
no.
that's a good and that's a good thing, isn't it, though? Like,
Absolutely. No, it is. And it,
mm,
and you're right. There, it is like a sisterhood. There's a bond that
mm,
is created, and it doesn't go away.
yeah,
It's always there, and you're always there. It's like, because I felt quite bereft, and I didn't really understand why I felt, when we'd finished, and I knew you'd have that kind of like, oh, it's a bit sad, I'm not going to see all these people, like you say, twice a week. But it did hit me. If I think you remember it, and I was, but the difference was that I kind of went, oh, do you know what? I'm going to go on and I'm going to say this now, which I would never have done before. And
Mm.
instantly, there you were, like, right, Vicky, this is, come on,
Yeah,
this.
like in the Facebook group. Yeah, because we've got the
Yeah,
Facebook group that you have forever. Because that's the thing is that, like we all do, we forget sometimes our way. And I've had a lot of the other goddesses in the group this week, and they've kind of forgotten the power of listening to the body. And so just coming in, that it just gets you straight back there straight away.
yeah.
Like there's no, because you've already done the deep work, and sometimes your body just needs reminding. Like
No, absolutely,
this
absolutely.
is what you need to do, and it's
Yeah,
like, yeah, I know what I need to do, and you just need that reassurance, don't you? And
absolutely.
also you seeing the other goddesses starting in the journey, you get to see how far you come as well from like,
Absolutely.
which
No,
is really
that's it.
nice.
And know that, and it's like, it's the fact, I mean, the Facebook group is like, particularly while you're on the course, the Facebook group is great because it is, it's like it is your place to be able to go and say, okay, this is what I'm feeling today. And,
Mm,
everybody will step in and go, oh my God, that's, like sending you so much love. And it is, you can like feel it. And it sounds silly to say
yeah.
coming from the screen, but you can.
Yeah,
It's
but it
just,
makes such a difference, especially when you're hitting against something that feels like it's too hard to maybe to move through. But they
yeah,
just give you that encouragement. I give you that encouragement. All the other goddess give that
absolutely.
encouragement. You've got this,
That's
and
it.
and you feel it.
and,
Yeah,
and then of course then there is the time where somebody puts a post on and you're like, oh, do you know what, I've got you, I've been there, I know
mm,
exactly how you feel. And that's, it's like I go on to the goddess group on Facebook now and I'm like, yeah, I know
yeah,
exactly where you're coming from. I know,
yeah.
I know
Like
exactly.
I was there too. I
Yeah,
was there
I was
too.
that person.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, so is there anything else you want to say? Because I'm saying, like, in terms of you've kind of touched upon like how life looks like for you now, but like
Yeah, I
I
mean,
know, I know life isn't the same, and I know you're awake because I see you and I see what you're doing, and the things have changed a lot, you know.
thank
But
you.
what do you want to say to anyone that's kind of
I mean,
feeling that scaredness in them, feeling like they can't go there, feeling
well,
like it's not the right time, and they've got
well, I
every
would
other thing?
say, I mean, you got, yeah, just like, don't, you know that it's the right thing for you to do. That's what I would say. You
You'll
know that this
feel
is the
it.
right thing to do. You feel it,
Mm.
and there is a huge um sense of power. It's such an empowered thing to do, to actually make that decision to do the work. And I mean, my life is just, it's transformed, in lots and lots of different ways. But the biggest thing I think for me recently was that I did have to go to an event where I had to come face to face with somebody who was abusive towards me. And oh my God, I mean, and I'm not going to lie, it's not like I was like, oh no, I'm going to be fine. I wasn't. I was like, this is going to, how am I going to do it? But I took the time, I did the work, I did the embodiment, I aligned myself to it going well. And oh my God, I mean, it was incredible. He had no power over me at all. He was like a withered, shitty little old man. Sorry. Oh no, it's Facebook, who cares?
Yeah.
But it's like,
But you did the work,
I
and
did the
you
work
came
to
at it
get
from a
there.
place of power. And I remember you put
Absolutely.
it in the group, and I was just like, I
Yeah.
felt your words, and it was
And
like,
it
I'm
was just
free.
the
I'm
most
free
powerful
from that.
thing. Exactly. And I
Yeah.
think, it isn't a magic wand that you can wave and everything's just going to be better. You do have to go through it. And sometimes that will be difficult and sometimes that will be hard, but the rewards at the end of it is just incredible. And I had resigned myself to being single and resigned myself to being, or just reliving old patterns in relationships. And that is not the case. And that, I just, yeah,
Oh
I
no, now you're in a
can't
relationship where you're
got
coming from a conscious place where you're able to
there.
be, it's about that honesty again, isn't it? Showing up in truth of who you
Yeah, and
are.
just, and then, and I mean, yeah, and being vulnerable and being seen are really important. And I didn't think that they were beforehand, and
Yeah.
now I can't imagine not. And again, that it's not to say that that it's an easy process. I
No,
still
but
have.
once you're awake,
But
yeah.
that's,
So like this
and
stuff
I
comes
think
up.
that's it exactly. It's
But
like,
you know what to
I
do.
know
That's
what
the
to do.
difference.
Yeah,
Yeah. And you
and
have
I
the
know.
tools.
Yeah, and I know that if I'm struggling, I know that there are people out there that I can go, do you know what, actually,
Exactly.
I am struggling with this, and that they're there, and I've got that support. Like you say, for life, that support is there. It's,
That's
you know,
there,
way.
exactly. And the course is there for life. You can go in and
It
check on
is,
it. It's
and
like it's everything's there, you
you
know.
know, and I mean, I'm old school. I printed everything out because
Yeah, but
I'm
I
old
love
school.
that as well. That's
But
what I
I
love that.
care, you know, it's like a little book of goddess magic that I go and go, oh, actually, I'm just going to
Yeah,
flip through this and like, oh yeah,
I love that.
and your book as well. Obviously, it's like a
Yeah.
companion guide.
It is. It's all there. Oh, thank you, my darling. I
Oh,
don't know because I can't see who's commenting, or if anyone's commented, if anyone's been live with us. But if you've got any questions, just pop them in the things below, and I'll pop the links in and everything else. Because just come and have a chat with me. Honestly,
yeah,
I'm not
definitely do it.
scary.
Do it,
Um,
do it, do it. She's not scary.
I'll let you know whether it's right or not right. Yeah. So thank you, my darling,
No, you're
and
very
thank you
welcome.
to everybody for joining us. Thank you, everybody. Bye.